Hey everyone, it's Mr. Irwin coming back to you with today's lesson, and I'm very excited about this one because I believe this should be the very first topic that you have never heard of before in any other math class. So something brand new I finally get to teach to you. It's called the distributive property. I just want to start with a definition of the distributive property. And this will sound real nerdy and mathy, but essentially the definition is the distributive property allows each term inside of parentheses to be multiplied by the coefficient outside the parentheses. Well, let me tell you exactly what that means and show you in the form of an expression. So here we have the expression 5 times the quantity, that means in parentheses, of 6 plus 2. Now, I'm guessing in previous years you would simplify this expression using the order of operations. You would do what's inside of your grouping symbols first, 6 plus 2, and you would get 8. And then rewriting the rest of the expression, you have 5. 5 is touching the parentheses, means it's being multiplied, and then you would do 5 times 8 to get 40. Well, that's correct, and that's fine, but the distributive property gives us another way to deal with parentheses in case we have values inside the parentheses that we can't add together. So we're going to start with this 5, the number that's touching the outside of the parentheses. That is called the coefficient. So the value being multiplied outside of the parentheses is the coefficient. Inside of our parentheses, we have a plus sign, and the values that are separated by that plus sign are called terms. So 6 and 2 are terms in this expression. To use the distributive property, we are going to multiply the coefficient times each of the terms inside of the parentheses. So we're starting with the coefficient 5, and we are going to distribute it to the first term. So we get 5 times 6. We have a plus sign in the middle of our quantity, and now we're going to distribute that coefficient to the other term through multiplication to get 5 times 2. And here's why we're allowed to do that. When we work out 5 times 6, we get 30. When we work out 5 times 2, we get 10. And 30 plus 10, you guessed it, it's 40, just like we had before. All right, so today's idea is to practice this skill, distributing the coefficient to every term inside of parentheses using multiplication. Let's take a look. Our first example says use the distributive property to rewrite the expression as a sum of two terms. Now, our goal is not to simplify this to get an answer. All we want to do is generate an equivalent expression by using the distributive property. We're going to start with our coefficient 4, and we are going to distribute that 4 to each term, 2 and 3, inside of the parentheses. So we start by distributing the 4 to the 2, which gives us 4 times 2. We bring down our operation in the parentheses, which is addition, and now we're going to distribute our 4 to the other term 3 to get 4 times 3. Now we can go ahead and do our multiplication. 4 times 2 is 8, and 4 times 3 is 12, and we bring down our plus sign. So by distributing the coefficient 4 to both terms, we get 4 times 2, which is 8, 4 times 3, which is 12, and we bring down our plus sign. And that is all the further I want you to go right now. We are not doing 8 plus 12 to get 20. All I want is this equivalent expression gained from distributing the coefficient 4 to the terms 2 and 3. 4 times the quantity 2 plus 3, an equivalent way to write that is 8 plus 12, and that's all we want to do today. Let's try our next example. We have 5 times the quantity of 12 plus 9. Please do this on a separate sheet of paper with me as I work through it. The coefficient in this expression is 5. It is the value touching the outside of the parentheses. The terms separated by the plus sign are 12 and 9. Well, we're ready to distribute our 5. So we're going to distribute the 5 to the 12 through multiplication. So we get 5 times 12. Dropping our plus sign, we're now ready to distribute the 5 to the 9. We get 5 times 9. You go ahead and simplify your multiplication. 5 times 12 is 60. Bring down your plus sign. 5 times 9 is 45. I know you could go ahead and add 60 plus 45, but that is not our goal. All we want is that equivalent numerical expression, 60 plus 45. Another way to write 5 times the quantity, 12 plus 9, without having parentheses. All right, let's do one more example, this time with subtraction. It works the same way. 12 times the quantity of 7 minus 6. 12 is our coefficient. Terms separated by the minus sign are 7 and 6. Let's go ahead and distribute the coefficient 12 to both of the terms. First to 7, we get 12 times 7. Drop your minus sign, and now we distribute the 12 to the second term, 6, to get 12 times 6. Go ahead and do your multiplication. 12 times 7 is 84, minus 12 times 6 is 72, and that is our stopping point. We have generated an equivalent expression. 84 minus 72. All right, here are 3 expressions for you to try on your own. Copy them down, pause the video, work them out on your own, and then we'll go over them together. All right, hopefully you've given yourself enough time to complete both of these expressions. Again, we are not simplifying these expressions to one result. We are just generating an equivalent expression by using the distributive property. The first one, coefficient 2, we're distributing it to the 4. 2 times 4 is 8. Drop your plus sign. Now, the coefficient 2 to the other term, 8. 2 times 8 is 16. The equivalent expression we want, 8 plus 16. Number 2, coefficient is 6. We're going to distribute it to the 8. 6 times 8 is 48. Bring down our operation. In this case, it is subtraction, so bring down a minus sign. And now distribute the coefficient 6 to the other term, 4. 6 times 4 is 24. There is our equivalent expression, 48 minus 24. Finally, we have a coefficient 3.5. We're going to distribute that to the 9. 3.5 times 9, 31.5. Drop your plus sign. And now distribute the 3.5 to 5. 3.5 times 5, 17.5. So the equivalent expression we generated through the distributive property, 31.5 plus 17.5. Boys and girls, that's it for your introduction to the distributive property. Please complete the independent practice assignment on distributive property. Take a picture of your work and upload that image file for submission. See you guys next time.